I've had many people tell me, Tavis, your poetry's on point. It's inspirational and funny, but it won't ever make you any real money. So get a real job and do your cute little poetry thing on the weekends. And I explained to them that this was not an option. And I understand that I need a job right now. But that every hour I'm not on the clock will be dedicated to my God, to my family, and to my art. So some had the nerve to say if this was really of God, that there'd be no struggle and it wouldn't be so hard. And I had to ask them, fool, what part of the Bible have you been reading? Have you forgotten Joseph, who was shown he'd rule the world in dreams by God? He went through being thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, and put in jail for a false attempted rape charge. God told Moses to go to Pharaoh and say, let my people go. But it took 10 plagues and a walk across the Red Sea for God's people to be free. The song Esther had to sing was, if I perish, because she faced death to see the king. Job endured ridicule from his friends, and the wife he adored to say, the Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And I got to mention Jesus, even if it's in passing. How many of you have seen that movie, The Passion? You're going to tell me his call came without trials? He did exactly what God told him to do, and that included being crucified. Now, I don't liken myself to Christ, but we as poets are crucified all the time for the words we say. We are persecuted for the passion of which we perform so far outside the norm we couldn't conform if we wanted to. Our comfort zones simply don't exist. Many of us gave up our chances to have dances with corporate America standards and instead have romances with our stanzas, and so few understand is that we have no choice but to congregate amongst ourselves. Our hells are hot with the fire that fuels our desires to shape and mold this whole wide world, not to the form that we think it should be, but to the way that you need. So often the proletarians of this entertainment industry, because visions of riches don't inhabit our dreams, because so few make it out of this lower caste. The majority of the actors in this play will never make it to Broadway. Deaf poetry makes up about 1/10 of 1% of those to whom it makes sense to dedicate their life to the pen. We submit our souls in manuscripts that could open our hearts for tens, but even when our desks are covered with rejection letters and we lose more slams than win, we pick up the smoking parts of our broken hearts and let's ring around the rosy again. But so few understand that we are family. I've been in slams where I was half a point behind another poet, went to them to ask what poem I should do next, and their honesty probably cost them the whole contest. There was another poet whose CD someone wanted to buy but didn't sell his own CD, so that person also bought mine. I traveled to Washington, D.C., no hotel needed, because a poet I'd only seen 5 times in my life gave me a spare bedroom to sleep in. So this is why I got to hit every event and spin at every open mic so I can sow into another poet's life at least a percentage of what's been sown in the mind. I mean, we give away about as many CDs and chapbooks as we sell, because on each track and on each page our story dwells. We hustle to move units to go platinum. We'll even take gold, because 1 million CDs sold means we reached 1 million needy souls. So you do the math. We'll put more miles on our cars in 6 months than most do in 6 years.
Yes, sir.
Got a Greyhound bus schedule memorized. For $50, we'll go to a city we've never been to in our lives. So don't ask me why I do this. You're asking the wrong thing. Tell me what you want to accomplish, and I'll spit fire to ignite your dreams. So go ahead,
yes, sir.
Hammers and nails until my wrist and raise my cross to the sky, and I promise in 3 days I'll resurrect myself at an open mic. This is me. Listen carefully.
Go in, poet.
Than anything else succeed, because this literature is my scripture and these venues are my temples. This is sanctuary, and the pews in my sanctuary are packed with poetic parishioners, but don't think that I'm the pastor. I'm just a minister, walking with my fellow clergy as we make you see through clever metaphors and similes the path of your heart that leads to your destiny. So search within yourselves, find that thing that keeps you up at night and go after it with all your might. Poets, I love you. Keep pushing, nurture your nightmares and pursue your pains. Squeeze them into your pens and write a love letter to this world that'll cause more grunts than grins. I prayed to God to let me die behind the mic at 95, spitting fire to save somebody's life, because I promised to God at 32, since Jesus gave his life for me, the least I can do is through my poetry and my ministry, give mine to you.